Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to this morning's Bhagavatam class. And today we have a lot of shlokas. So we were discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 6th chapter, and so far we heard the story of just before that we heard the story of how Ambrish Maharaj has a he was offended by, although he didn't take the offense, but he was offended by Durvasa Rishi, and finally Durvasa Rishi was saved by taking the shelter of Ambrish Maharaj, and now the lineage of Ambrish Maharaj is further described. So we already, this 9th canto is full of such prasans, how to say, these incident, they are little controversial. Like just before last week when Prabhuji was here, so he gave the shlok on he gave the class on the shlok in which it is mentioned that he could not the king could not have King Rathidhar could not have children, so he asked Angira Rishi to come and bear children in the womb of his wife. So now further the lineage of Ambrish Maharaj is described here. So actually, when we see that, one thing I would like to share before we start, that because Ambrish Maharaj was such a great exalted personality, he was such a great devotee of the Lord, he was so in the lineage of such great devotees, Krishna chose to come. Like we will see in this 9th canto also, Lord Ram, the appearance of Lord Ram will be described in the further chapters. So he came in the lineage of Ambrish Maharaj. So so this is 9th. I have to cover from 9th to 26th shloka. So I'll just read the translation of 9th till 25th, and then together we'll recite 26th shloka and the purport.
You should do the invocation as well, no?
Shall I do right now or after the shloka?
If you read from Bhagavatam, then
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatammirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Savadetam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lilita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhu Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shlok number 9 of 6th chapter, Canto 9. When King Ikshvaku, thus informed by Vasishtha, understood that his son Vikukshi has done, he was extremely angry, and thus he ordered Vikukshi to leave country because Vikukshi has violated the regulative principle. So just before this shloka, King Ikshvaku, who is a great king in the Sun dynasty, so he wanted to do a Shad ceremony, offering to the forefathers, and he asked his son Vikukshi to go to forest and bring flesh of the animals. So it was allowed at that time. Just a shlok before that, it is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada quoting the Shastra as mentioning that 5 kind of things are not allowed in Kali Yuga. One of them is offering meat to the ancestors, offering liquor to the ancestors, taking sannyas, and Ashwamedha Yagya, and having children by the brother of the husband. So now because Vikukshi was very tired after doing hunting for this sacrifice, he by mistake he took consumed some of that meat which is meant to be offered. And when Vasishtha Rishi, who is the Kul Guru or the family priest of the Sun dynasty, so he get to know that this has been done, so he discarded everything that he said. It is not appropriate to be offered to the ancestors. So having heard this, Ikshvaku just banished his son to the forest. Having been instructed by the great and learned Brahmana Vasishtha, who discoursed about absolute truth, Maharaj Ikshvaku became renounced. By following the principle for a yogi, he certainly achieved the supreme perfection after giving up his material body. So Ikshvaku also, he left for the forest, having instructed by his guru, and he achieved the supreme perfection. After his father's disappearance, Vikukshi returned to the country and thus became the king, ruling the planet Earth and performing various sacrifices to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vikukshi later became celebrated as Sashad. The son of Sashad was Puranjaya, who also known by Indravaha and sometimes as Kukupstha. Please hear from me how he received different names for different activities. Formerly, there was a devastating war between demigods and demons. The demigod, having been defeated, accepted Puranjaya as their assistant and then conquered the demon. Therefore, this hero is known as Puranjaya, who conquered the residence of demons. Puranjaya agreed to kill all the demons on the condition that Indra would be his carrier. Because of his pride, Indra could not accept his proposal. But later, by the order of Supreme Lord Vishnu, Indra did accept it and become a great bull carrier of Puranjaya. As we all know, Indra is a great example of Sakam Bhaktas, who has they are devotees of the Lord, but has some other desire of personal sense gratification also. So because of his pride, he didn't want to become the bull carrier of Puranjaya, who's going to save them, who's going to bring them back their kingdom. So finally, Lord Vishnu asked him to be the bull carrier, and he agreed. Can you remember another example where Indra was asked to do certain things?
Dadichi.
Jai Shri Radha Parisisvara ki, Jai Desai ki, Jai. So Indra was again asked to go to Dadichi Rishi, whom Indra offended once, and not only go and say sorry or seek help, but seek help in terms of why don't you give your bones to us? That means you die and we'll use your bones to save ourselves. So at times Krishna also put us in that kind of a situation where we have to swallow our pride and do certain things. This is great mercy of Krishna. shown to his devotees. Well protected by armor and desiring to fight, Puranjaya took up transcendental bow and very sharp arrows, and while being highly praised by demigods, he got up on the back of the bull Indra and sat on its hump. Thus he is known as Kakustha, being empowered by Lord Vishnu, who is super soul and supreme person. Puranjaya sat on a great bull and therefore known as Indravaha, one who is carried by Indra. Surrounded by demigods, he attacked the residence of demon in the west. Slok 17. There was a fierce battle between demons and Puranjaya. Indeed, it was so fierce that when one hears about it, one's hair stands on end. All the demons bold enough to come before Puranjaya were immediately sent to the residence of Yamaraj by his arrows. To save themselves from the blazing arrow of Indravaha, which resembles the flame of devastation at the end of millennium, the demons who remained when the rest of their army was killed fled very quickly to their respective homes. Slok 19. After conquering the enemy, the saintly king Puranjaya gave everything, including the enemy's riches and wives, to Indra, who carried a thunderbolt. For this, he was celebrated as Puranjaya. Thus, Puranjaya is known by different names because of his different activities. The son of Puranjaya was known as Anena. Anena's son was Prithu, and Prithu's son was Vishwagandhi. Vishwagandhi's son was Chandra, and Chandra's son was Yuvanasva. The son of Yuvanasva was Shavatsa, who constructed a township known as Shavatsipuri. The son of Shavatsa was Brahmadashva, and his son was Kuvalayashva. In this way, the dynasty increased. Slok 22. To satisfy the sage Utanka, the great powerful Kuvalayashva killed a demon named Dhundu. He did this with the assistance of 21,000 sons. O Maharaj Parikshit, for this reason Kuvalayashva is celebrated as Dhundumar, the killer of Dhundu. All but 3 of his sons, however, was burned to ashes by the fire emanating from Dhundu's mouth. The remaining son was Dhridashva, Kapilashva and Bhadrashva. From Dhritarashva came a son named Haryashva, whose son is celebrated as Nikumbha. Slok 25. The son of Nikumbha was Bahulashva. The son of Bahulashva was Krishashashva. The son of Krishashashva was Senajit. And the son of Senajit was Yuvanashva. Yuvanashva had no son. And thus he retired from family life and went to the forest. Slok 26, which has a purport, so we'll recite this. Bharya satena nirvinna Rishya ashva kapala kripalava Istim samavartayam chakrur Indrim te shushmandita Bharyashatena nirvinna Rishyo asya kripalava Istim samavartayam chakrur Endrim te sushmahita Bharyashatena nirvinna Sorry. I just wanted to make it large.
Istim smavartayam chakur Endrinte susamarita
Bharyasatena nirvinna
Bharyasatena nirvinna
Vishayosya kripalava
Vishwasya kripalava
Istim smabhaktayam chakrur
Istim Samadhyam Chakru
Indrim tesu samahita
Indrinte susamahita Bharyasatena nirvinna
Vishayosya Kripalava
Istim Samadhyam Chakru
Istim Samadhyam Chakru
Andrim Tesu Samahita
Indrinte susamahita Bharyasatena
Bharyasatena
with 100 wives
Mandir voice
Nirvinna
Nirvinna
very morose
Rus
Rishaya
Shriya
the sages in the forest Asya upon him
upon him
Kripalava
Kripalava
very merciful
very merciful
Esteem
esteemed
a ritualistic ceremony
ritualistic ceremony
Sama
Sama
in the past
in the past
Vartyam Chakru
Radhayam Chakru
began to execute
began to execute
Indrim
namely
known as Indra Yagya
known as Immerse
they all of them
all of them
Susamahita
Susamahita
being very careful and attentive.
being very careful and attentive.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilopad Ki Jai. Although Yuvanasva went into the forest with his 100 wives, all of them were very morose. The sage in the forest, however, being very kind to the king, began very carefully, attentively performing an Indra Yagya so that king might have a son. One may enter the Vanaprastha order of life with his wife, but Vanaprastha order means complete retirement from household life. Although King Yuvanasva retired from family life, he and his wife were very morose because he had no son. So, very big purpose we have in front of us. And here it is mentioned about that how this king, when the right age came, he and his 100 wives went to forest to accept the Vanaprastha ashram. Actually, in the final years of his earthly pastime, Srila Prabhupada mentioned emphasis so much about one ashram dharma, because Srila Prabhupada knew that one ashram dharma is a right now we are all in different ashramas, right? Some are in Brahmacharya ashram, some are in Vanaprastha ashram, Grihastha ashram. So these all ashrams are not the end goal. The goal of human life is not to become a great brahmachari, or a goal of human life is not to become a great grihastha or a vanaprastha or a great sannyasi. Rather, these ashrams are the containers to contain or to increase our bhakti. So Prabhupada knew that the people of Kali Yuga, especially in nowadays, they need good container to hold their bhakti. If they could not live as per the rules and regulation of one ashram dharma, they won't be able to prolong their bhakti for long. So Prabhupada emphasized so much on one ashram dharma in the last years of his earthly pastimes. So and if we see even ISKCON world today, we can see some brahmacharis. Any guess how many brahmacharis we have in ISKCON?
Less than 100. Here is Europe.
That's too low. Like I'm talking about the ISKCON world.
Oh, okay. 1,000.
Yeah, at least yeah, 1,000, maybe a little more.
We have around 2,500 to 3,000 brahmacharis.
Okay.
Most of them are in India.
Obviously.
So I don't know how many we have in Europe.
100.
100 would be a big number.
No, 100 is a big number.
Really?
Yes.
All over Europe.
All the
Yes.
Europe will be, or if maybe, yeah, 50, 60.
The biggest would be, you know, this party of Harinam party of this Maharaj. What is the name of
Harinam
it? No.
No, Atmanivedan.
Atmanivedan. Forgot his name. Harinam Mandir. His party's name is Harinam Mandir.
He's from Russia? No.
Somewhere close to Lithuania. So, you know, they are the biggest number in Europe. That number of brahmacharis. Maybe I guess around 15 or 20. So else everywhere, our temple has great number of brahmacharis. So still, you know, there are some number of brahmacharis are there in ISKCON. Mainly there are grastas. Maybe, you know, right now those who are on presently in physical form, they are present on earth. Maybe 100 sannyasis, not more than 100 or 150. I guess 100. But you know, vanprasthas, they're very less, very less. So you know, these all vanprastha is the age when you know after 50 you start detaching yourself. You go to, you know, brahmacharis. These all four ashramas has specific duty. The duty of brahmachari is to brahmachari guru kule vasananto guru hitam acharan dasvat nature, that he stays in the ashram of guru and follow the orders of the guru. Whatever guru says, he has to follow. You know, we can see in the example of in third canto also there is mention of a disciple of a guru who sent him to take care of you know, to protect the crop from the rain, and the whole night he was just lying in the field to save the crop from the water. And even Krishna lived in the ashram of Sandipani Muni, and it is mentioned in the 10th canto that one day when Krishna and Sudama went to take wood from the floor from the forest, and it rained so heavy that they could not came back, but they didn't left the mission of the guru to bring the wood. They stayed in the forest whole night. Sandipani Muni, you know, become very worried where they are, but they still bring back those wood, the mission of the guru. So brahmachari's duty is to follow the orders of the guru. Duty of grastas,
Follow the order of the wife.
not exactly.
Oh, just Guru.
Their duty is Atithi
That's the
Seva.
reality.
Atithi Seva. That whoever guest comes to their door, they have to accept them. Especially they must invite saintly persons to their home to purify themselves, to purify their existence. Because they are the only ones who are dealing with money and women and vice versa. So, so they must invite, and even grastas are as per the how much practical it is, we can see. But the grastas are instructed to, you know, call on the street first. Is there anyone hungry? Is there anyone hungry? Is there anyone hungry? 3 times, and then they can. If there is nobody hungry on the street, then they can eat their food. I don't know. We know that it is not practical. Yes, we agree. We are just taking the spirit out of it. So, and the vanprastha, their duty is to do tapasya, go to pilgrimage, go to forest and do tapasya, both husband and wife. And duty of sannyas ashram is to preach. Now they are on the autumn of their life and to preach this message. Now fully dedicate themselves to preaching. So here Vanprastha ashram is mentioned. Whatever I know about Vanprastha ashram, I'll just share with you. Vanprastha ashram means when the person has covered half of his age. So now he start preparing for the next life. Like we do investment, preparing for the future. Similarly, the next life, how it would be if we want to go to spiritual world. So now prepare yourself. Now start detaching yourself from the grasta ashram. Now start giving your responsibility to your children, and start preparing for the next life. And for that, they start going to holy places or places of pilgrimage, because in the Vedic age, actually that journey itself is also part of the pilgrimage. Like right now, if we have to go to Vrindavan, or say, today I have to go to Vrindavan, so I have to take a flight from Paris to Delhi. From there, Delhi to, I'll take a cab, and maybe in 16-17 hours I'll be there in Vrindavan. So because of progression of material world, it's become so easy. But suppose if somebody has to walk all the way from Europe to Vrindavan, actually that walking, that journey is also part of the pilgrimage. It purifies you, because throughout that journey you will think about Krishna, Vrindavan, where I am going. And every day, while you are going there, you will meditate upon Krishna. So similarly, those who live in India also, when they have to go from mainland India to the Badrika ashram or Kedarnath or those pilgrimage places, or Gaya, or when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan, so the whole throughout the journey he was meditating upon the destination. That meditation also purifies you. That all the obstacles, all the pains that you bear throughout that journey also purifies you. So that's why the main duty of Vanprastha is to do tapasya. That journey is a tapasya in itself, because at that time there was no trains or cars or buses. They have to walk all the way. Max they can have some bullock cart or something. So this is about Vanprasthasham, and this is all I can say about this shloka. So another great festival that we have is disappearance day of Shyamanand Pandit, who is one of the great acharyas in our lineage. So I will discuss a little bit about from his life also. So as we all know, Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Paritarnaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam dharma sansthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna came to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants. But and in different eras, in different millenniums, Krishna incarnates with different weapons to do this. Like in Lord Nrsimha has great weapons as his nails. Adbhut, how to say? Tavakar Kamalavare Nakham Adbhut Shingam. Although he has chisel-like these nails, but still it is so beautiful to see. So with that, weapon he killed Hiranyakashipu. Then came Lord Ram in Treta Yuga. He has his weapons as bow and arrow. He killed Ravan with that. Then Lord Krishna came in Dwapar Yuga. What was his weapon? Sudarshan Chakra. And bow and arrow also. But then in Kali Yuga, Lord came in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what was his weapons? His devotees were his weapons. Mostly, like there are two types of preaching. One is mass preaching and other is class preaching. Mass preaching means you go to the masses, you preach them one by one, try to make them devotees. And class preaching means you empower few devotees, you empower few of your followers, and they will do preaching. Then they will do preaching. So this type of preaching was chosen by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he also said that I am a what do you say, Mali in English? Gardener. Yes, I am a gardener. How many fruits I can distribute? I need more help. So he created more hands. He gave orders to Rupa and Sanatana Shat Goswamis to do preaching. That is the first line of preachers, or first line of acharyas who preached after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this planet Earth physically. So he gave the orders to Rupa and the Shat Goswamis, Bhakta Bhakti Krishna Prem Tatvera Nidhan Vaishnavera Krityar Vaishnava Achar Krishna Bhakti Krishna Prem Seva Parvartan Lupt Tirth Udhar Ar Vairagya Shikshan. So he gave these 5 orders to Shad Goswamis. What were those 5 orders? You shall have to ascertain the basic principles of a devotee, devotional service, love of Godhead, Vaishnava duty and Vaishnava etiquettes. So you have to present by your own examples how a Vaishnava should be, how a Vaishnava behave, what were his characteristics. So that's why they gave so many Vaishnava literature also. They quoted so many Vedic literature and presented to us the great jewels like nectar of devotion, nectar of reception. You will also have to explain Krishna's devotional service, establish centers for cultivation of love of Krishna, excavate the lost places of pilgrimage, and teach people how to adopt the renounced order. So, excavate the holy places. We know before the Shad Goswamis came to Vrindavan, the Vrindavan was a great forest only. Nobody knew which were all those pastime places were. So they excavated those pastime places. They established the centers for cultivation of love of Krishna. That means they established those temples. And then after these 6 Goswamis left, again, the black cloud covered the sun of Krishna Consciousness. It happens whenever the great acharyas left. So, if the followers do not practice nicely, the mission, comes under the trouble. There is a very famous quote by a Saudi king. Strong man, you heard this? Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men creates bad times. Bad times create strong men. This is a cycle. Strong man creates good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. Bad times create strong men. It is applicable everywhere. Like Srila Prabhupada, he was a strong man. He created good times. ISKCON was flourishing like anything. There's a book by one of his disciples, Hayagriv Prabhu, Hare Krishna explosion. Hare Krishna whispered. Temples were opening everywhere in the period of 70s to 76. It was a very strong time. Hare Krishna was a household thing. Everybody knew Hare Krishna. It was so famous that the song by Beatles, Hare Krishna, this album Radha Krishna Temple, it was number 3 in the whole world at that time. Everybody knew Hare Krishna. Either they were making fun of Hare Krishna or by any way possible. Everybody knew of Hare Krishna. So strong time creates somehow weak men. Weak men creates bad times. And then bad times created strong men. Then again after 90s, like 80s and 90s were very troublesome period of ISKCON. But that weak time created strong men. And then those strong men, from 2000 till 2025, it is like again explosion period of ISKCON. That ISKCON is again expanding. But
what year?
But beware.
That is good time or bad time?
It depends.
Or mediocre?
Certainly I can say ISKCON India, ISKCON Russia, they are having good times. They are flourishing. So it all depends upon us. If we follow strongly, if we follow the principles given by Srila Prabhupada, if we chant our round nicely, if we do book distribution, if we read books daily, certainly we'll become strong and will create good times. Good times means not all the facilities of sense gratification. Good times means that we can preach more and more, we can expand more and more. So the second when this kind of a situation was arise after the disappearance of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and other acharyas, so again there was a great need of some preachers. So then came the second line of preachers. Srinivasacharya, Shamanand Pandit and Narottam Das Thakur. They are the three who are, we cannot just talk about one of them separately. Srinivasacharya was a disciple of Jiva Goswami, Shamanand Pandit was a disciple of Hridaya Chaitanya Prabhu, and Narottam Das Thakur was a disciple of Loknath Goswami. And all three were sent to Vrindavan under the tutelage of Jiva Goswami to learn the Shastras. Jiva Goswami, who was younger than all the other 5 Goswamis, because Jiva Goswami was a nephew of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, son of their brother. So he was quite young as compared to other Goswamis. So he was there in Vrindavan at that time, and all 3 of them went there, ordered by their spiritual master, to take education from Jiva Goswami. And they were very highly trained by Jiva Goswami in the Shastras, in Krishna Prem. And then Jiva Goswami ordered them to go back to Bengal and Utkal Pradesh. Bengal means Gaudesh is we are called Gaudiyas. Gaudiyas means people belonging to Gaudesh. Gaudesh means Bengal, today's Bengal, both East and West Bengal. And there is another just next to Gaudesh is Utkal Pradesh. Utkal Pradesh means Odisha, where Jagannath Puri is. So they were sent by the first book distribution party, consists of these 3 devotees, Srinivasacharya, Shamanand Pandit and Narottam Das Thakur, who were sent by the Goswami, many Goswami Granths. This morning I tried to find out the list of those books, Nectar of Devotion, and what books they brought with them. So they walk all the way from Vrindavan to Bengal and Odisha. It is around 1500 kilometers on a bullock cart. And as book distribution cannot be uneventful. As we all know, when we go on the street, we always have amazing incident, we meet amazing people. So they also, their books were stolen, and there is a whole story how those books were recovered again. So these devotees, they distributed those books to the people of Bengal and Odisha. And because of them, again, Bhakti revived in those places. Otherwise, there was so many up-sampradayas were there. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has mentioned, like in the times of Bhakti Vinod Thakur again. Like it happens so many times that, Krishna Consciousness was flourishing, and then when Acharya left, so again there was, lack of Krishna Consciousness. These up-sampradayas, they start flourishing. Then again a strong Acharya came, and he again established Krishna Consciousness. That in Bhakti Vinod Thakur also mentioned in one of his writings that there are 12 up-sampradayas in his time also. Au Bau, Sakhi Bekhi. And if you go to Jagannath Puri, anybody went to Jagannath Puri?
In Bengal also. Yeah.
So you will see, these kind of, they are also like chanting Hare Krishna, but they are also, they seems very unusual to you also. One time I went to Jagannath Puri, I was, eating prasadam whenever, it's always safe to go to pilgrimage places in the association of the devotees. Try never to go alone. So in our temple also in Delhi, we have this culture that whenever we go on a trip of 50-60 people. So luckily I was there with them. I was not alone. And I saw a group of people. They were predominantly men, dressed in gopis dress, Jagannath Puri, came to the darshan of Lord Jagannath. Some of them have not cut their beard also, although wearing dress of Matajis, carrying the insignia of Gaudiyas, this Vaishnav Tilak given by, and they were chanting Hare Krishna on Mridanga and Katha. And I was like, who are these people? What they are doing? So then, some senior devotees told me, you heard of these 12 up-sampradayas? They are one of them. So, up-sampradayas, yes. So,
It's bona fide.
up-sampradayas means they are not bona fide. So they, as per their philosophy, that, that they say that they are sakhis of Krishna, and they Krishna, they are like gopis, and Krishna will come in their dreams, and they do their leela. So, so this is not a right philosophy. Srila Prabhupada has warned us so much about them. So again, when Shyamanand Pandit, Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya, they went to Bengal and Uttar Pradesh, they again established the right principle and preached Krishna consciousness far and wide. So I'll just cover one, because we have little time. So I'll cover just one famous pastime from the life of Shyamanand Pandit, that how he get this special tilak and name. His original, when he was born, to his father's name was Krishnanand Mandal, and his mother's name was Daruki Devi. So because they are also devotees, not Brahmanas, but a Vaishya family. So they had many children, but all of them died as soon as they were born. So they decided that now when we will have this another child, so we'll give it to the service of Krishna. His only occupation will be serving Krishna. And they named their child Dukhi. Dukhi means miserable in English. So that Yamraj will also excuse this child. He is already very, very miserable. Let me leave this child. So when this child was born, they named him Dukhi. So original name of the name given by the parent to the Shyamanand Pandit was Dukhi. And from the very beginning, he was very interested in hearing about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shad Goswamis, and especially he developed liking for Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu, who was preaching in that area. So he took permission when he grew young. So he took permission from his parents and went to Ambika Kalna in Bengal to Hriday Chaitanya. And when he went there, he approached Hriday Chaitanya and Hriday Chaitanya also accepted him and gave him initiation, accepting him as a disciple, and gave him Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then by the instruction of Hriday Chaitanya, he went to Vrindavan under the tutelage of Jeev Goswami. So he was serving very heartedly Jeev Goswami, and he asked for special service. So Jeev Goswami gave him the service to bring water for him from Seva Kunj. If you must have been to Vrindavan. So in Vrindavan, where today's Radha Raman temple is, when you go to Radha Raman temple, just near Radha Raman temple, there is a very great place, Seva Kunj. So in Seva Kunj, it is also called Nidhivan. Sahajiyas love to go there because it is, today also in the night they close Nidhivan because Krishna and Radharani, all the gopis, they came there to have their rasa dance, and no mortal being with all the vices is allowed to go there. So his special service was to go to Seva Kunj, clean the Seva Kunj, and come back with a water pot for Jeev Goswami. So every day, wholeheartedly, he went there. He used to clean Seva Kunj with his own hands, and while coming back, he used to bring a water pot for Jeev Goswami. So because he was serving Jeev Goswami wholeheartedly, and Srimati Radharani, all gopis were also very happy by seeing the service of the serving attitude of Dukhi Krishna. The name Hriday Chaitanya, his spiritual master gave him was Dukhi Chaitanya Das. Dukhi Krishna Das. So because he followed the order, he's serving the spiritual master, he's following the orders of spiritual master, he's serving the senior devotees so nicely. He attracted the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Actually, this is, at times, Sahajiyas has this feeling that, or nowadays also, that people want to directly approach Srimati Radharani, that we are followers of Srimati Radharani. There is a very famous guru also on YouTube, very famous on YouTube these days, that people love to follow. Wherever you preach to, especially to the Indian audience, they will say that we are followers of that Prabhu, that Maharaj. But this is not our lineage. Our lineage is serve Guru. Our teaching is follow the orders of spiritual master. By following the orders of spiritual master, you will be recognized by Radha and Krishna. You will get the love of Radha and Krishna. So even our Srila Prabhupada also, he left Vrindavan to follow the orders of his spiritual master. So the same goes with us also. That it came to my mind that Srila Prabhupada sent so many of his disciples. He make so many of his disciples to leave Vrindavan. Why he make them leave Vrindavan? So that he will preach. When they will follow his, Srila Prabhupada's order, then Krishna will give them his mercy. So that is the real Vrindavan is, or real for us, the real Vrindavan is the place that has been assigned to us by our spiritual master. That Prabhu Data Desh. Prabhu Data Desh means that has been assigned to us by the Prabhu, the master. So that is real Vrindavan for us. Even if we die at that place, if we will wholeheartedly serve our spiritual master, serve the instruction of spiritual master, we'll go back to spiritual world. So because he was serving Jiva Goswami, he was following the instruction of his spiritual master so nicely. So Radharani and the Gopis decided to give him their mercy. So one day when he was sweeping Seva Kunj, he found a very nice piece of jewelry. At some places it is mentioned it is a nupur. Nupur is a ring. You can say it is a toe ring that is worn by Matajis in their small toe finger. Or somewhere it is mentioned it is a bangle. Bangle means the chudi that you wear that Mataji wear in their hands. So he saw that, and it was very different. It was not like a jewelry piece of this world. So he kept it with himself. And when he was sweeping the floor like that, so one very beautiful girl appeared in front of him and asked, "Have you seen a piece of jewelry here?" So he said, "Yes, I have seen a piece of jewelry." So could you please give it to me? He said, "No." "Are you the owner?" So that beautiful girl said, No, I am not the owner. But I need this jewel back. So he said, I will give only this jewel back to the owner. So if you bring that jewel back, if you can bring that honor to this place, then only I will return this. So that beautiful girl told her, "Okay, we can do so. For first you do what? You take bath in this kund. Then I'll take you to the owner of this jewelry." So as soon as Dukhi Krishna Das entered the kund, he came out in a form of a very beautiful gopi. So then this beautiful girl who came there in front of Dukhi Krishna Das, that girl was Vishakha Devi. So Vishakha Devi took her to Srimati Radharani in the form of a girl. So so then he presented this jewel to Srimati Radharani, and Radharani became very happy by getting back this jewelry. So he what Radharani did, at that time Radharani was applying kumkum on her body. So what she did, he took that nupur, she dipped it in the kumkum and placed it on the forehead of Dukhi Krishna Das. So it make a different tilak sign on his forehead, and that kind of a tilak was, you cannot remove it. So for us, we have to again and again apply this tilak. But Radharani, when Radharani gave you a tilak mark, so it was permanent. So, and also Radharani gave her the name Shamanand Pandit. Shamanand, so one who gives pleasure to Sham. Sorry, Shama means Radharani, one who gives pleasure to Srimati Radharani. So then Shamanand, after getting the mercy of Srimati Radharani, Shamanand Pandit, came out of his samadhi, and he went back to Jeev Goswami, and when Jeev Goswami heard this, that he got the mercy of Srimati Radharani, he became very happy. Everybody became very happy. But Jeev Goswami cautioned him, do not tell this story to everyone. Actually, it is reality also. When we get some kind of this kind of experience, we should not, share it with others. Not everybody will be able to understand it. But we must share, if we have such kind of experience, we must share it with our spiritual master. He will verify is it true or not, or it is just our own speculation. So we must have such experiences verified by senior devotees, especially by spiritual master if it is present. So Jeev Goswami cautioned do not share it with others. But although devotees do not want fame, but fame wants to serve devotees. So the fame of Shyamanand Pandit, that how he get the new name and how he get this special tilak, it spread far and wide. Even it spread to the extent, because devotees used to visit from Vrindavan to Bengal and Utkal Pradesh. So even his own spiritual master get to know. Hriday Chaitanya get to know that, my disciple has got the new name and new tilak. So he become very angry that he become prudent that he has left my shelter, and so Hriday Chaitanya become very angry that how come he can have a new tilak and he can change his name. So he traveled all the back to Vrindavan, and as soon as he came in front of Shyamanand Pandit, he chastised him so much. And Shyamanand Pandit just heard it. He didn't retaliate, he didn't utter any word. And he just accepted all the chastisement of his guru. Actually, this is the right way. Even if a senior devotee or our guru is chastising us, we should not retaliate, we should not start arguing. Accept it, and when the time will right, so we can present our case. Similar incident happened in the case of Rup Goswami and Jeev Goswami also. Jeev Goswami, although when Vallabhacharya came to meet Rup Goswami, and he gave a feedback on the writing of Rup Goswami, which was not right. So Jeev Goswami corrected Vallabhacharya, but Rup Goswami didn't like it, and he banished him. But Jeev Goswami didn't, created another faction, created another ISKCON or Ritvik or something that I have been, they have did wrong to me, I was right all the time. No, he just accepted it. So that is the right way. So in that very night when Hriday Chaitanya went to sleep, Srimati Radharani appeared in his dream and chastised him that I gave him this tilak mark, I gave him this name. Who are you to chastise him? And then Hriday Chaitanya get to know that it is bona fide. So this is how Shyamanand Pandit got his name and tilak mark. And especially he went to, after when all three of them went for book distribution, he chose to go to Utkal Pradesh, Odisha, and he preached far and wide there. And he has a very famous disciple called Rasikananda. And Rasikananda also has a very famous disciple, a mad elephant. That elephant was so mad that he was creating havoc. And just when the disciple of Shyamananda, Rasikananda, uttered Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the ears of that elephant also become a devotee. This is a great greatness of devotees. So with this, I'll like to stop here. Anybody has any question, comment, or correction, you can do.
And regarding regarding the slok today,
Yes.
regarding the Banaprastha, is it for this timing, like nowadays, is it mandatory?
It is very much mandatory. It is not mandatory. Bhakti is voluntary process. You cannot force something on anybody. But yes, it is highly appreciated, it is highly required these days. Before you came, we discussed that how many brahmacharis we have in the whole ISKCON world. how many grastas we have, how many sannyasis we have, but very less. I guess least number of vanprasthas are there. We have 100 or 150 sannyasis. We have around 3,200, 2,500 between them brahmacharis. We have so many grastas, but we have so less vanprasthas. So we need some good examples also. And now because there is no forest, so temple is the one for them. Come to temple and serve here. Even if you cannot shift to temple, at least come to temple to serve. You can say, in one way, there are few vanprasthas also. Like there are many vanprasthas, yes, but not many. We need more vanprasthas. Hare Krishna. Jai Shloka ki jai.
Jai. His Krishna Saparan Prabhu ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare.